Violettelst, Bill's Taco Bell temper tantrum. Story for Deaf Not Els. Introduction. Hi, this Violettelst story is about Bill absolutely losing his sanity at a Taco Bell. Main characters, Violette, Bill, William and Els. Violette is a 52-year-old mother. William is Violette's 17-year-old son. Bill is a 58-year-old morbidly obese man-child. Bill is also William's father and Violette's husband. Els is a 14-year-old girl and best friends with William, who also lives with the family. One quick thing, if I refer to something called the boys, I am referring to Bill and William. I am using this as a shorter term. That is all I have to say. Enjoy the story. Plot. It is a peaceful Tuesday in Mount Airy, Maryland. A 52-year-old Violette is cooking breakfast for her 17-year-old William and her husband. A few seconds later William walks downstairs for breakfast. 5 minutes later Violette and William eat some fruit parfait. A few seconds later a 58-year-old, 45,459-pound Bill walks into the kitchen. A few seconds later Bill asks for food. 3 seconds later Violette points to a bowl of fruit parfait. A few seconds later Bill says he wants actual food. A few seconds later Violette hands Bill some parfait. 2 seconds later a china bowl explodes on the floor. Violette then punches Bill's jaw. 2 seconds later Bill says he wants to have Taco Bell for breakfast. 4 seconds later Els walks into the kitchen, as Bill punches Violette. Els then screams very loudly as Violette and Bill start brawling. A few seconds later William brings Els to their safe room that Bill doesn't know about. 2 minutes later William and Els patiently wait for the brawling to end. 8 minutes later a huge crash occurs. 3 seconds later William and Els hear 3 gunshots and Violette screaming very loudly. A few seconds later William and Els walk to the living room. 10 seconds later William helps out his mum, while Els sees Bill is holding a flamethrower, while dragging Violette's priceless glass figurine case outside. Els then shouts for Violette and William to get outside. 2 minutes later William finishes helping Violette, as Bill is heard cackling like a sociopath. A few seconds later Violette and William run outside as a dangerous and massive fire engulfs the figurine case. Violette then screams very loudly as Els and William race to get the garden hose. Bill then walks to Violette's SUV with his flamethrower. 4 seconds later Violette tackles Bill as they get into a deadly brawl. 15 seconds later Els turns the hose on as William races to the flaming figurine case. 9 seconds later the fire starts to get put out. 3 minutes later Violette gets up as William sprays Bill with ice-cold hose water. 1 minute later Els turns off the water as the 4 of them head inside. A few seconds later Bill shouts that he wants Taco Bell. Bill then says to Violette that he will commit terrorism if he doesn't get his tacos. 2 seconds later Violette says they can go for lunch, but not right this second. Bill then screams at the top of his lungs. 4 seconds later Bill storms outside, after ripping the front door off its hinges. 4 minutes later Bill sits on his chair, as Violette walks into the living room with a shotgun. 9 seconds later Bill crashes onto the floor. Bill then screams very loudly while bawling his eyes out. Els then asks what is happening. William looks up as Violette grabs a scythe as she walks closer to Bill. William then tells Els to grab the car keys. A few seconds later Els and William race outside as Violette raises her scythe into the air. A few seconds later Els and William hide in Violette's SUV. 4 seconds later Bill screams at the top of his lungs. 2 minutes later Violette walks outside with a bloody scythe. 4 minutes later Violette gets into her SUV. A few minutes later Bill hops onto his trailer that is connected to the SUV. 1 minute later Violette speeds off to a Taco Bell. 9 minutes later Violette parks her SUV. 3 minutes later Violette, Bill, William, and Els walk into the Taco Bell. 3 minutes later Violette orders a salad, William orders a Mexican pizza, and Els orders a couple of unique tacos. Violette then pays for their meal. Violette then tells Bill he can pay for his own food with his own order. 2 minutes later Bill takes a notebook out of his rolls of fat. Els then asks why they are ordering separately. Bill then asks for 3,582,228,223,234 nacho cheese Doritos Locos tacos. Bill then starts ordering quintillions of different items off the menu. Violette then says that's why they ordered separately because of Bill. 9 minutes later Violette, William and Els start eating their food, as Bill is still ordering. 20 minutes later the 3 of them throw their trash away, as Bill is still ordering. Violette, William, and Els walk out leaving Bill to his order. 2 hours later Violette walks into the Taco Bell after doing their weekly grocery shopping. Violette then hears her 22-ton husband is still ordering. 1 hour later a cashier says the order will cost $482 octogentillion. Violette then knows what is to come, as William and Els wait outside as the fire alarm goes off. Bill then says he doesn't has money, as people start fleeing the nearby stores. Bill then starts verbally harassing the staff. 1 minute later Bill grabs an axe. A few seconds later everyone evacuates as Bill starts to destroy the Taco Bell. 5 minutes later the ground starts to shake as Bill is seen jumping and bouncing around the Taco Bell. Els then screams with horror. William then pulls Els away as Bill sprints out of the Taco Bell. 3 seconds later the Taco Bell collapses. 4 seconds later Els grabs a rocket launcher. 5 seconds later Els shoots Bill. A few seconds later Bill explodes and dies on sight. A few minutes later Els, Violette, and William speed home. 15 minutes later Els, Violette, and William head inside with their groceries and their new peaceful lives without the man-child Bill. Thin.